Hi, Trude. No, the lights are cool. Hi, Lizzie. Nice dress again.
Toasty.
How are you feeling this morning? Are you really hungry? I'm starving.
I'm alright at the moment.
Yeah?
I've taken vitamins this morning though, and I don't know, I feel funny. It doesn't say to take them with food though.
Oh, I had a shit night's sleep last night, to be honest. Did you, are you eating under the calories or?
Pardon?
Are you eating under the calories? Have you done the total daily expenditure? Have you worked it out, your TDEE, on that app I sent?
Oh, I think I went over yesterday.
Do you reckon? I've added chickpeas to my food order. I don't even know what to do with them yet. We've got some recipes. Right, I'm going to go into my other Facebook. Give that a little while to kick in. Right, I've managed to link it up to YouTube as well. Good morning, Facebook. Oh, I'm actually really cold. Hi, Eileen. How are you? Hump day. I'm going to talk to you quick about your pelvic floor today. Ideally, I would have brought up a little presentation, but I can't get on anything up here. So I'm gonna type that. I'll just stick it on later just to show you a picture. Morning. You aching today? So cold. How's it going, Irene? Are you hungry? Claire, you need to eat some fruit. The fruit wasn't on the list, was it? You said you need to snack in the afternoon because you're getting hungry. You are. Buttocks on fire. Right, let's see if I can bring this up. How many devices does one woman need, isn't it? All good, all good. It's tea I'm missing actually. Okay, right, pelvic floor. Let's have a quick talk about the pelvic floor because it's really important and it's muscles you can't see. Most of you probably, do you think you know what your pelvic floor is? I was always a bit like, what is pelvic floor? Pelvic floor is like a sling underneath your organs, and when you pull it in and you sit down the low part of your abs, which you call the pelvic floor, it lifts up your internal organs. So there's like a sling that supports the bladder, the bowel, which is your large intestine, and the exercises that we do to strengthen the pelvic floor, they used to always talk about years ago after you had a baby, so Lizzie, that doesn't apply to you, but they stopped women doing those exercises and then they started wetting their knickers again and like coughing and leaking and sneezing and leaking and things like that. So we refer to them as the Kegels, and well, I think that's how they pronounce it. I think some people say Kegels. That's an American term, really. So we could still call it pelvic strengthening in the UK. Tonight we got the midsection meltdown, so I'm going to focus on getting right into lower tummy muscles and the rest of the abdominals and the waistline as well. So let's have a little think about what weakens your pelvic floor. So everybody always thinks pregnancy and childbirth, but obesity can also weaken your pelvic floor, and postural dysfunction. So this type of posture, where you're sort of pushing your belly forward and things like that will actually weaken your pelvic floor. So you can have somebody who's in their 20s who's never had a baby who will actually cough, leak, or they don't make it in time to the toilet. So it's kind of a bit of a taboo subject that no one ever wants to talk about, but this is what this group's all about, right? Putting stuff out there that people don't want to talk about, because if you keep it under wraps, it's never going to be dealt with. So when you contract your pelvic floor, like I said, the internal organs lift. And one way that you can actually strengthen your pelvic floor is just by pulling in without clenching your buttocks, without clenching the rest of your tummy, making sure that you still breathe and you can actually strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. So what are the symptoms of a weakened pelvic floor? Leaking when you laugh, you cough, and you sneeze, or maybe jumping jacks. Women always say to me, oh, I can't do jumping jacks. I have to wear pads. You're like, oh, right, okay, so we need to do some pelvic floor exercises with you. Failing to reach the toilet in time. I was out on a night out once with my friend and she was like, I need a wee, I need a wee, I need a wee. And then she just went all over the floor. And I was horrified. And I was like, I never ever want to be like that. She'd had 2 kids. Passing wind from your anus or your foof. Hi, Keris. You logged on just in the right time. Your tampon's falling out. Yeah, things like that are all signs of having a weaker pelvic floor. And sometimes just a sense of heaviness down there. So just I think we should talk about stuff like this. So if you are a little bit overweight, that can make it worse. The advice that they give us actually is to, what we're doing at the moment, isn't it? Drink more water and eat more veg. Because if you suffer with heavy constipation, that can also affect your pelvic floor. So in Pilates, I should put some new jumpers on. We breathe in through the nose. As we exhale, we pull up from the lower, the pelvic floor, and we pull up all the way under the ribs, up to the diaphragm. And then I always say to people, when the days when we could go to Tesco's, Keris just put, she's wondering what she logged into, because she logged on just as I said, anus and foof. You are in the right conversation. Yeah, I used to say, when you're queuing in Tesco's, pull your shoulders back, draw your core in. When you're in the car in a traffic jam, try to do that type of breathing and pulling in. When you're like held up and stuff, but most of the time we're stressed, but you can actually strengthen your pelvic floor just standing or sitting on the couch, as long as you sit with a straight back. Lower levels of estrogen during the menopause again. Weaken your pelvic floor. It's not sounding too good, all this stuff, is it? But on a positive, we can strengthen your pelvic floor quite easily. And tonight, like I said, when we do midsection meltdown, we're going to really focus on that specifically for us ladies. What else will I tell you? Squats help with strengthening your pelvic floor. You wouldn't think they would you? Walking does, as long as it's not walking with a bad posture. But the things like the plank, and you know what a plank is, don't you? You see if I lay down. This one, great for strengthening pelvic floor. Or the Pilates one, this one's called scissors. That one's great for strengthening pelvic floor. This one's called the 100. Again, all those types of things. So previously we would have done loads of sit-ups and loads of things like this. That doesn't really strengthen the pelvic floor that well. It's got to be more slower stuff where you can focus on pulling it in. So if anybody's sitting there and you're thinking, oh my God, that happens to me, do not feel ashamed at all, because tons and tons of women have this issue. Get what I mean? Yeah. So that's it. So it's 6:30 tonight. We're going to focus on the tummy muscles. We're going to focus on the pelvic floor. So I did have a little diagram. I'll shove it up later. It's ever so funny. But the pelvic floor is like a sling just above your foof, which keeps all the internal organs supported. Yeah, so good luck for today. I'll put on a couple of more the lift lean recipes later as well. I'm going to have to get cooking. I've added coconut flour to Amazon. It's £11. But I want to make the chicken breast nuggets. And I've added chickpeas. I got ones in tin and I got dried ones. I have no idea what to do with chickpeas, but they are amazing food source, so we're gonna get this one. We're gonna jump on this. Good luck for today. If you've got any questions, get in contact with me, right? And I'm gonna have to have some breakfast soon. I shall see you later. Bye bye. 6:30.
Bye.
6:30. Bye bye. That's an interesting one to put on YouTube, isn't it?